Hi, welcome to Avi's Kosher Kitchen. It's me again, Avi. Before we begin, I'm going to start with a glass of wine as always. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagefen. L'chaim to everybody. That's so good. We're going to make a great recipe. I hope it's a great recipe because I've never made it. Actually, I have. But it's a little bit different. We're going to do my version of, or my take on Korean short ribs. Now, my friends over at Whole Foods have provided me with this beautiful flanken. Flanken short ribs, same thing. The short ribs are cut just a little bit wider. The flanken is like this, but we got a lot of meat on them. And the short ribs, you got one rib at a time. Here you've got the whole sort of cap on there on the ribs. So you're going to get a little bit more fat rendering into it and stuff like that. So it's going to give a little bit more flavor. I've got my Instapot going here on saute, high saute, because we're going to want to brown these first. I want to do it in the pot because we're going to end up pressure cooking these. The reason I want to pressure cook them, I could do them in the oven, I could do them sous vide, I could do them in a casserole and the whole bit. And it takes forever, and let's face it, we don't all have a lot of time these days. It's crazy, especially if you have kids. So I want to give you an idea on how to do this quick, easy, and delicious. So we're going to start very simple seasoning on the short ribs to the saute. You get a little bit on the counter. Don't worry, I won't tell my wife if you won't tell yours. At any rate, I've got here this Instapot, like I said, going on high. Put a little bit of, this is some grapeseed oil. You could use, I wouldn't use olive oil. The smoke point's very tough on it. Avocado oil is really good. High smoke point on avocado oil. I just don't have any in the house right now. So we're gonna just get this in there. I can smell the oils pretty much hot already. And in here, you put a short rib. Listen to that go. You put the other one. I just want to brown it and sear it, and that's it. So while that's going, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this meat from Whole Foods. 100% grass-fed. No antibiotics, no growth hormones, and totally pastured. Pastured, what's that mean? It means they're out in the field doing what cows do, playing cow ballet, cow kickball, all the stuff, you know, the cows like to do. And I know I sound utterly ridiculous, but really, it's really, in my opinion, arguably the healthiest meat in America. Black kosher, obviously, 100%, which means that for those of you that aren't kosher, black kosher meat, the organs are inspected for disease. And if they are not acceptable, in other words, if they find a trace of disease in the organs, the meat's kicked out. You're not going to eat it. So it's healthy health-wise, healthy no antibiotics, healthy no growth hormones, and healthy 100% grass-fed and pastured. So they're happy. Happy cows make happy meat, which makes happy eating. All right, so I have browned or just seared in the short ribs here in the Instapot. And you can see that there's all this great stuff in there. I've already turned it off so it's not overheating. To this, I'm going to add half of my Asian marinade. Now, to that, I'm going to put back in my short ribs. Did half, and we're going to put this right in here. And any of this juice, if it'll drip in there, go for it. Why not? It's gold. It's gold. I'm telling you. At any rate, to this, I'm going to now put the rest of my sauce right on top. Okay, very nice. I'm going to take a little bit of water here, right into about half of the sediment that I had in my sauce, added in about a quarter of it. You can see how much is in here because that's going to cook into things. Now I've got some onions. I'm going to just take onions right on top. I like a lot of onions. We take some carrots. The reason I like carrots add a certain level of sweetness that you're not going to get. The natural sugars from the carrots are really, really nice. So it's not a sweetness you get from sugar or anything else like that. It's just a natural type of thing. On my cutting board, by the way, I also have a bay leaf. Now this bay leaf may look a little bit different to you. It's a fresh bay leaf. It's not a dried bay leaf. So this is packed full of flavor. We only need one small bay leaf in here. I got this from my front yard. My buddy Alex over at Edible Landscape Solutions has hooked me up with, I mean, I got all sorts of stuff growing in this yard. It's wonderful. Bok choy, which would be a great accompaniment, by the way, to this. We've got cabbages, we've got radishes, I've got basil, I've got oregano, I've got Cuban oregano growing there, I've got hot peppers and so on and so forth. Speaking of which, hang on one second, let's just take this bay leaf, goes right in here, let's nestle it right in there for a little flavor. Now, speaking of peppers, got this little green guy. I'm not even sure the type of pepper it is. This one, when it's green, it's not overly hot. It's got a little bunch. It's going to turn red on the bush. When it does that, then it's even hotter. Okay, I've also got some Scotch bonnets growing there, which I've been using in some salads. Whoa, nice. Just a little bit of that Scotch bonnet in there. Packing it, baby. It's really good. Okay, we're going to just take this, slice it up. Make sure, by the way, after you slice up some hot peppers like this, you're going to just put it right in here just to give everything a kick. Oh, I could smell it. It's opening up my sinuses nicely. But make sure you wash your hands before you do anything else, because you don't want to rub your eyes or anything with that, because you do that one time and you'll never do it again. Trust me. All right, I'm going to put the lid to my Instapot on. You close the Instapot. I put it on pressure cook. It's going on for about an hour on the pressure cook circuit. And when that's done, we're going to let the sauce reduce down to be a nice glaze, and this is going to be delicious, just soft, tender, and really a great meal served over rice, something like that, with some bok choy like I mentioned earlier. Okay, so hang in there, and we're going to see the results in just a little bit. Okay, I can't wait to dig in to these. It has been about an hour and a half to 2 hours since I put them in. So they cooked in the Instapot, which, by the way, every time I hear Instapot, I think of this old guy I knew in college named Rudy. We called him Instapot. You can figure out why it was in the 70s, and we'll leave it at that. At any rate, they cooked about an hour in the Instapot, let it come down on its own. I pulled the short ribs out. The sauce that was in there was just like, you know, great, but it was too thin. So I left it in there on the saute high just to cook down. Once it cooked down a little bit, I took my stick blender, blended the whole thing together, let it cook down further, and now we have a thick sauce. And there we have it. My version of Korean short ribs. Now you could serve this over some great basmati rice, and that sauce, this gravy on the rice, we're talking something really special. I mean, we're talking one of those things that you're gonna have that over the rice with the short ribs, and the whole family's gonna go, do you have any more of that? And you're gonna go, well, I do. I put it in the back because I don't want to share everything, you know? You're gonna have to reserve some for yourself because it's gonna go that quick. I wanna thank my friends over at Whole Foods. Great, no antibiotic, no growth hormone beef, 100% pastured, 100% grass-fed, just living the life that cows like to live, and making it perfect for us to eat. Really healthy, really, really good stuff. So while I was waiting, I kind of, you know, I finished off the glass of wine. So I'll say a virtual l'chaim to everybody out there. Until next time, happy eating.